Infirmary Media.
What's that?
It's an upper.
An upper what?
Just an upper. If you want to stay awake, this will really send you into overdrive.
Robbie, I think your brain is in the underdrive. Those are drugs.
Now the world don't move to the beat of just one drum. What might be right for you may not be right for some. A man is born, he's a man of means. Then along come two. They got nothing but the genes, but they got different strokes it takes. Different strokes it takes. Different strokes to move the world. Everybody's got a special kind of story. Everybody finds a way to shine. It don't matter that you got not a lot. So what? You'll have theirs and you'll have yours and I'll have mine. And together we'll be fine.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 102 of the Video Rangers podcast. I'm Mike Ranger. Sitting beside me is Chris Ranger. Say hello, Chris Ranger.
Hello, everybody, and just say no to drugs. Let's do some
Do
drugs.
a whole lot of drugs.
Oh, that's right. We're going to do Dare, too.
Yes.
I forgot. Let's look up Dare.
Dare to
I'm
keep
gonna
kids
get on
off
that
drugs. Remember Dare?
This is our, we should just be the Diff'rent Strokes podcast at this point.
Yeah, because it's all I care about. Takes different strokes to move the world.
It's like we do one like every month now.
Because it's so fun. And today we are going to cover episode 22 from season 5, The Reporter. Or the Nancy Reagan
This
episode.
is a Nancy Reagan episode.
It's a very special episode of the Video Rangers podcast.
It's important to everybody.
We don't get that. No Conrad Bain intro, man.
No
Again.
PSA, it's just a regular episode.
Yeah, but it is the same season as the bike shop.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
It's like 4 or 5 episodes later. Right?
this appears after, because this appeared on March 19th of 1983 on NBC. Another fantastic episode.
I thought
of
this was on
Diff'rent
ABC, or it moved to ABC later. Actually,
Final season moves
Yes.
to ABC
That's
after
right.
Sam and his fucking mother ruined everything.
Sam is missing.
This is also the season that gave us Pearl.
Pearl,
Yep.
house, in-house housekeeper. Who
Yeah.
lives there forever.
She's the third and final maid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But on this episode, as a reporter for the school newspaper, Arnold learns that drugs are being sold at on the school grounds of PS 406. This attracts the concern of First Lady Nancy Reagan, who comes to the school to talk about her anti-drug campaign.
And apparently, this is like just the cuff of when it started, because she doesn't do the just say no.
No, this
Just
is
say it.
I think she was on quite the run from like 1980 to 1985 on this crusade, this war on drugs.
What do you know? What year this debuted?
This is 1983.
1983.
March 19th,
So he
1983.
just became president in 1981. So I imagine she just started this "Just Say No" campaign, and it probably obviously that slogan probably didn't exist yet, maybe, because I would imagine she would have said it. She definitely would have said it. Doesn't she appear on? I could swear she's on some other show doing it.
She is. Actually, by the end of 1985, Nancy Reagan had appeared on over 20 talk shows, co-hosted Good Morning America, a PBS documentary, and Dynasty and Diff'rent Strokes.
Dynasty.
Yeah.
Wow, you really did your homework there,
Yeah.
Mike.
She also appeared in the Stop the Madness video.
With fucking that crazy person.
The Stop the Madness music video, the rock thing.
Oh, I thought you meant the diet lady.
No.
Remember the lady with blonde hair, like short blonde hair? Stop the madness! And she's on like weird diet thing in the 90s.
Yeah, no, this is a video that came out in like mid-85, something like that. But yeah, good old Nancy just coming to the rescue, saving the kids from some fucking drugs. But
You know our government sold drugs to the inner city? That's like a fact. Like, I know it sounds like tinfoil hat guy, but it's like a fact.
Yeah.
That like we brought drugs in here to sell into this inner cities.
Was there also a second gunman on the grassy knoll?
I don't know. I think it was a comedian though.
Louis Anderson? He's the second gunman?
His fat ass. He couldn't lay on. If he got on the grassy knoll, he fell down.
Yeah. But in this episode, Arnold is like desperately trying to like find a story because he wants to beat Lisa.
He wants to be. Yeah, he's jealous of his very smart classmate, and he wants to win the contest to be the editor of the Sun Times or whatever.
Well, the contest is submitted through the Tribune, the New York Tribune or whatever, and he just wants to beat Lisa. It's causing him great concern. He's staying up all night on his typewriter, can't find a damn thing. He's got the fucking paper scattered everywhere, ripping it out of the typewriter.
That old cliche,
Yeah.
balled up papers everywhere.
Yeah. Mr. Drummond can't even fucking seem to help him, and he's like the head of a corporation. And when Arnold goes to school the next day and is talking amongst his friends, good old Dudley and Ronnie, his story falls right onto his lap.
It's just a pill. There's nothing wrong with taking one now and then. Those things will scramble your brain.
Yeah, by the time you're 16, you'll be a burnt-out junkie, living in the gutters and sniffing glue off old postage stamps.
Where'd you buy it? Right here at school.
There's a pusher here at PS 406.
He's not a pusher. He's just a guy making a few extra bucks.
If he gets caught, he's gonna be making a few extra license plates.
Hey, I got a upper for you. And he's got this like big dime bag with like this tiny with a pill in it. And
Yeah.
I was like, he's got like 2 hours left to write this paper or whatever, write this news story. So like wake him up and this will help you out. So instead of taking the drug, he's just like, oh, it's terrible. Drugs are bad for you. But like, hey, where'd you get that? He thinks it's my.
Because that's how he's going to get his story.
This is my story right here. The big drug craze in my school. They're in 4th grade.
Yeah, and Ronnie is like, he's in like 22 episodes of the show, but he's mostly just a side character. He's a redheaded kid.
Yeah, he's a redheaded stepchild.
And
He looks like he has no soul.
yeah, he looks like he takes drugs.
He looks like a skeleton.
He does. Skeletor. He-Man. What's great is when Arnold and Dudley go to the yard to meet up with their contact, their pusher man. Who knew that Chris Ranger was in an episode of Diff'rent Strokes?
Yeah, okay. So one of the running jokes when I was a kid was that I personally was in the movie Over the Top.
Yes.
Because I look just like the kid in Over the Top.
Yeah,
So it's the actor from Over the Top.
It's that good.
I kind of look like him.
It's David Mendenhall.
And he's got like a mop top.
Yeah.
I couldn't grow long hair, but I had long hair like that. I never got that long.
And you had
like
that
a bowl cut when I was a kid.
But you had that vest and the brown pants.
I'm sure I did.
Yeah. But it's an interesting meeting between Arnold Dudley and the Pusher Man because he's telling them all about the pills. I got the yellow jackets.
He's so innocent
yeah.
about it. Like he's selling candy.
Look, what kind of pills do you want? I don't have a lot of time. I gotta go to the bathroom.
What kind of pills do you have?
I got red devils, yellow jackets, and goofballs.
Nice selection. You saw a lot of them around school?
Enough. What do the red ones and the yellow ones do? Well, one takes you up, and the other brings you down.
Got anything for around the mezzanine?
If you just want something that'll keep you happy, try these.
How much?
$12.
It's funny that he's selling drugs because when I was a kid in elementary school, there was always a kid with a brown paper bag selling candy.
Yeah.
For like Fireball.
Yeah.
Was
Or Crybabies.
Fireballs were actually a nickel at Party Stop, but he'd be selling it for like every candy was 50 cents or $1.
Oh yeah.
Or you could always negotiate, but most kids just bought it.
Yeah.
So there was always some kid, a bag of candy selling cheap ass candy his fucking mom or his dad gave him. You know that.
Yeah.
Some scam going on. But because he was making like 500% on this fucking candy. It was cheap shit.
Yeah, he knew. He saw.
And when Halloween came around, he made even more money.
He saw an opportunity.
No. Do you remember you had a kid at your school?
Oh yeah,
sold paper bag selling candy, right?
Listen, I had a kid at my school that was selling Chinese footballs. He had a storefront.
Chinese football?
Yeah, he had a storefront. He would, what he'd do?
Hilarious.
He would make one and he would write it on it like
Giants football.
Giants.
Yeah.
Oh, I want a Jets one. Oh, I'm a big Bears fan. Can you get me one of those? Yeah, sure. Let me fold it up and write Bear on
Remember
it.
those things those girls made? like go tell the future.
Yeah.
Like a color, a number.
Yep.
And you'd go in and out. It was
Yeah.
like some
Try to
weird
find out who
origami
you're going to
shit.
marry and shit.
It was or like how the fuck do they make that?
You ever play MASH as a kid?
Or MASH, yes.
Yeah, remember
I
MASH?
remember that.
Yeah.
That's fucking funny.
They don't play that at PS 406.
No, they
at
sell,
Arnold School. They
do
sell drugs.
They do barbiturates.
Yeah, they do hardcore drugs. So Arnold, has just enough time to write this fantastic story. He has so much time, he can even write his own acceptance speech and throw it in good old Lisa's face. But his plot is foiled when the principal walks in and accuses Arnold of lying.
I feel like the principal has ulterior motives.
Well, he doesn't want his school to be
Exactly.
tarnished in the Tribune.
Like, I'll rip this kid apart and suspend him and ban him out of my school because I don't want this story getting out. Because this makes me look really fucking bad. That's what I initially thought when I'm watching this. Like, obviously, he just thinks he's lying. Because he won't give up his sources and stuff. But it's like, dude, it just really comes off as like he just doesn't want this story. Like, he just want to,
He wants to sweep it under the rug.
It makes me look really fucking bad.
But fucking Arnold and Dudley are like Woodward and Bernstein.
How long have you been waiting to pull that one out? You must have been thinking about that one all week.
No, but it's listen. Arnold is doing some really good hard-nosed reporting here. I mean, he's not giving up his sources, and Mr. Drummond swears that like Arnold's not one to lie. Even though a few episodes earlier in the season, he tries to get Kareem Abdul-Jabbar fired from his substitute teaching job by saying that he slapped him.
That sounds made up. How is that a plot? The difference? How is that a plot to a TV show?
How about we talk about
amazing.
How much scarring can a child go through? And we've brought this up before that. Arnold, for living a rich kid's life, has not been sheltered from the horrors of this world. The bike shop, the kidnapping, Sam's missing, alcoholism, bulimia. It's all here.
I gotta think.
Figure skating.
I gotta say, man, maybe he was better off being adopted by a family in Harlem.
Yeah.
Than actually going to this rich family. Yeah,
because it's not working out to him. The kidnapping alone. He was
like, he lives the life of luxury, but I mean, at what cost?
Yeah. What about the children?
He gets held up at the bank.
Yeah. He gets held up at the bank.
Like this bank robbers. That episode's...
Yeah. Terrifying. I'm sure...
You can't see it almost gets molested. Fucking Christ.
So much shit goes on in this fucking show, man. They're not protected from anything.
Shit, you could turn each episode into like a dynasty episode, and you wouldn't know the difference. You just gotta change it up a little bit.
Well, I'll tell you what, the furniture would be about the same.
Yeah, yeah. Until they redid the house when it looked ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's like a clown house.
Friday on Diff'rent Strokes, a social worker threatens to take away the children.
Arnold, do you miss seeing black children your own age?
No, ma'am. If I miss seeing a black kid my age, all I gotta do is look in the mirror.
Diff'rent Strokes, Friday at 8, 7 Central and Mountain on NBC.
So, since the principal wouldn't accept the story, Arnold takes the story to the Tribune himself. And now that I'm thinking about it, we've done another episode where somebody just wanted to write an article for the Tribune. And just one of the guys, I believe Terry, was trying to win a contest with the Sun Tribune.
The Sun Tribune.
Apparently the
It's
Tribune
newspaper
does a lot of contests.
All of media. They just use the same made-up newspaper.
Yeah. So the Tribune is the king of all media. So Mr. Drummond, who... is the last to find out. He has to read about it in the paper because the night before he was out on a hot date.
Yes.
Yeah, Kimberly and Willis told us
He
this.
picked up a lady of the night.
Yeah, lady of the evening. So Arnold, thinks that it was a good idea to take this article all the way to the paper.
And they ran it of some fucking 9-year-old who just showed the fuck up.
Just took his fucking word for it.
This is like big news. I would imagine in 1983, you just didn't think drugs were in the school. Like, you'd be oblivious. People still think that stuff just didn't affect kids as much.
Dude, especially since the kid's in 5th grade tops.
I don't believe this elementary school as much. I'm obviously somehow it's there. But I don't think this happens. And I was in school, we didn't have any fucking drugs.
I'll tell you what I believe more than what actually happens in this episode. I would believe that kids could buy drugs in an elementary school. More so than believing that Nancy Reagan knocks on my front fucking door and wants to help me fight the drug war.
I imagine, me and Mike went to a school district that had kids on two sides of the track. Like, our school would be in our town, but they came from the town down the street that was, like, kind of bad. I imagine a lot of these kids were exposed to lots of these things in the city.
Yeah.
We had a small city. It's like 30,000 people, maybe more.
Yeah.
And it was like, all the bad things happened there, pretty much.
Alternate 1985.
So, but, like, you'd hear stuff, and then when you went to junior high, it escalated, and you went to high school, it escalated. You know, you partook, probably.
Did some things.
But there's no kids doing fucking, like, pills.
I don't know, man.
Like
but
fourth grade?
But this is 1983 in the crack era. This is...
Well, and I just found out, so this show was 1983, this episode?
Yeah.
She didn't, and the Just Say No slogan was 82. And I can't believe she didn't say it.
No, but
I'm
I don't know if she did on the episode of Dynasty she was on. That might have happened.
Yeah, but this is the perfect time to say it. It's
Yeah.
gonna be perfect to say it in.
I don't know.
She had a perfect opportunity later in the show.
I blame the writers.
I do. It's terrible.
Yeah.
She should have
Missed
said,
opportunity.
Just say no.
But what's great about this is little did we know. Here I'm thinking that Pearl is a worthless piece of shit. You know?
Damn. Tell me how you really feel about Pearl.
Pearl is my least favorite of the maids.
What's your most favorite?
Mrs. Garrett.
Of course.
Girls. But yeah.
What you talking about, Nancy Reagan?
Listen, Pearl fucking happens to, she was a housekeeper for some of Washington's most prominent cabinet members.
Of course.
And she knows Nancy.
Well,
a matter of fact, according to Nancy, last time she was at a barbecue, they said, "Who's that lady standing next to Pearl Gallagher?" How incredible is that?
Yeah, they all said that.
You know? But, you know, it wouldn't be an episode of Diff'rent Strokes if you didn't get your "What You Talking About, Willis."
Mrs. Reagan, I didn't know that you knew Mr. Drummond. I don't. I'm really here to see Arnold.
What you talking about, Mrs. Reagan?
Mike, when we do these episodes, he watches ahead of time, and he watches a couple episodes around it.
This is the season when they really hammered you with the "What You Talking About." It's
What you talk about, anybody.
It's every fucking episode.
Like, we already did What You Talking About, Willis, and What You Talking About, Mr. Drummond. So who else can we get? Guest star and whoever else to come in that would sound really funny. What you talking about, Mr. T? What you talking about, Nancy Reagan?
Yeah. But I think "What You Talking About, Nancy Reagan" is the most ridiculous of all statements. What you talking about, lady? But it's actually great. I think the only thing that would have topped it would have been if old Ronnie had been in the episode himself.
Well, he was too busy shooting Bozo the gorilla. He was hanging out with him.
Well,
Bonzo.
it would have been nice.
Bonzo, I think it's Bonzo.
It would have been nice if he could have maybe trickled his way down.
Fucking geriatric. He had like dementia in the fucking White House.
Geriatric. Tell us how you really feel about the president of our country.
Right. You're right. We got to do the Punky Brewster episode.
Right. That's another one. That's
another one.
Yeah.
Coming soon to the Vision Rangers podcast.
Yeah.
Punky Brewster.
Just Say No episode, right? Something like that.
Latoya Jackson became spokesperson for the campaign in 1987, recorded a song titled Just Say No. Oh, you fucking hypocrite, Latoya Jackson.
Yeah.
Who would later do like these porn shows
on the Spice Network.
On Spice. Yeah. I'm sure she partook in plenty of adult activities. I'm sure she did a line off someone's dick. Like, there's no doubt in my mind, Latoya Jackson.
So Nancy Reagan shows up at your fucking house and then wants to go to school with you to clear your name and talk to the youth and spew the most biggest load of fucking
the
garbage.
Biggest lie in the world.
You know? But it's fun. It is funny to see the look on the principal's face. You know, when he's
about to ream
Arnold. Because Arnold's gone to the Tribune with this sensational
he shows
story.
Up with the first lady.
Yeah. And there she is.
I know, right?
And she is.
Honestly, he should, in real life, he'd be really pissed still about this Arnold thing, because now he's still getting shit for this.
Oh, dude,
like,
his
after
job.
this is all over, he'd be getting shit. He'd hate this kid. Anytime he got a chance to smush Arnold Jackson, he would.
Because this happened on his watch.
Yeah.
The Board of Education is going to be all over him. This is incredible. But, and you know what? You got to somewhat appreciate Lisa, who just sees an opportunity to let the First Lady know that she herself thinks drugs are bad and that she's a Republican.
That's like the mind of a kid. They tell you stuff at school and you believe it. You know, listen, drugs aren't great, But they have their purpose.
Listen, I'm on drugs right now.
So
Fuck you, Nancy.
So DARE stands for, we both went to the DARE program.
Yeah, Dare to Keep Kids Off
It
Drugs.
started in like Los Angeles in like 1983. Drug Abuse Resistance Education. So I went through DARE. I actually won. I was in 5th grade, and there was like 5 or 6 classes, and each class had to write some kind of essay about I don't remember. Some kind of essay about drugs. And
Yeah,
I
how you
remember
felt
one
about it.
line I had in it. I actually won it for my class, and I had to read it in front of like the whole 5th grade or whatever. And my fucking legs were shaking like crazy. Good thing there was a podium there.
Yeah.
Like I still remember this. And I remember one line about, and we worked together to shut drugs down. Some bullshit like that I made up. But I remember in class, so we had one where the DARE teacher, the police officer, would be, okay, give us your excuse, an example to say no to drugs and stuff like that. So my big brain came up with and this is perfect because like you just don't know anything about drugs or how how that culture even works in your 5th grade. I was like, so if someone said, here, hit this joint, I go, oh no, I've already had 5.
I've already had 5.
But my big idea was to lie, and the teacher the teacher just kind of gave me a dumb look. I was like, yeah, but and I'm thinking about it now, like, dude, I don't know how it works. Yeah. I don't know. It's not like a
they didn't
beer.
tell you, man.
I don't know how a joint works.
All they said was drugs are bad.
That's what I'm saying. Drugs are bad.
Yeah,
I don't know how any of that worked. And I basically kind of got like, yeah, you might want to do something different. And
No. Well, you know what my brother did? My brother told the DARE guy comes to school. My brother tells the class that my dad lets him drink beer and smoke cigars. We got a fucking phone call that day from Mrs. Silver.
Beer, smoke cigars.
Yeah. But you know what? That's a little bit. But you know what? DARE, their hearts were in the right place. But fucking Nancy goes to this fucking school and takes a fucking poll on how many kids have been offered drugs, sold drugs, taken drugs. Poor fucking Ronnie is forced to expose himself as a 5th grader who's taking drugs.
He's a fucking
Yeah.
He's all strung out now.
Yeah. But you know what?
5th grader.
The only person in this one that doesn't get some type of fucking comeuppance or repercussions is the actual drug dealer.
No one ever outed him.
No.
But I'm shocked. I'm shocked he didn't get outed.
Well, Arnold understands, that,
Even afterwards, though.
stitches are for snitches,
Stitches for snitches.
Yeah. I'm surprised the fucking
snitches end up in ditches, Mike.
Well, why wasn't the Gooch fucking the drug dealer? I'll tell you why, because then Arnold be taking the dirt nap.
Fucking Gooch.
Gooch
was on drugs.
You know that my spare bowling ball that I used for, if I didn't get a strike and I had to clean up some pins, I nicknamed it the Gooch. It was a smaller ball. It was light. I can do a lot with it. It was nice.
Hey, wait a minute.
You know him.
Look out. Here comes short but stylish.
You've seen him.
Got a hot date tonight, foxy lady?
And if you want more of him, you're in for a treat.
I'm all yours.
Because this delirious cutie is back on Hits.
Hey. It's not nice to mess with a little kid's emotion. When Arnold talks, people listen.
Catch Arnold in an all-new season of Diff'rent Strokes. Mondays to Fridays at 8 p.m. only on Hits.
Yeah, I was a couple things about this episode that disappoint me. You don't get the opening from Conrad Bain. Or even an opening from Nancy Reagan, which I thought would have been suiting.
You know what? I would have thought you would have got one from her instead, maybe.
I mean, there might have been some commercials that we didn't get to see, from NBC themselves.
Maybe like Pee Wee Herman. This is crack.
Yeah,
that creepy one.
That
my favorite drug
weird.
commercial. Do you remember the one where like there's a guy? He's like walking towards the camera, and he's talking about drugs and stuff, and he like turns into a snake at the end.
Yeah, he starts to change with like as he does the drugs.
He's like walking around.
Yeah,
and then he's like his cobra. That was like scary, but I thought it was cool as fuck too.
Yeah,
that was like the cool one. Like it's scary a little bit. I thought it was still a cool ass commercial.
I mean I
really like that one. I didn't care less about the drugs he was talking about, but
the whole like this is your brain on drugs.
It never made any sense.
I learned it from watching you.
Nancy Reagan tells a story about pot.
Yeah.
Here's the big lie.
Yeah, because that's the stuff that the thing is that the problem with this era I want to say 1980 all the way up to 1996.
You're still in the reefer madness.
Where
The
they're
whole
just
generation of those people still believe that.
well, they're feeding. The problem is they're
They're feeding into it.
telling you the truth about anything.
That, or they don't even know the truth. They haven't even smoked it themselves.
But not even limiting it
You're
just
like
to
rich people who are telling the poor people because they don't know any better what to do.
But
a lot of times.
But you're not just limiting it to just pot. Like they didn't tell you the truth about anything.
But that's the biggest one.
Well, yeah, well, that's the one where they fed you the most lies.
That is the biggest lie. Because the other ones, off the top of my head, are really bad for you for the most part if you're doing a lot of them.
But they didn't say, hey, they would just say, hey, crack is bad. They didn't tell you really what would happen to you.
But yeah, this great feeling.
They didn't really tell. All they told you was it was bad and you'd end up homeless. That would be the end of it.
The worst things in the world would happen to you if you smoke crack.
If they came to school,
there's people who have jobs and still smoke crack.
Yeah, but if they came to school and were like, hey, we're going to watch New Jack City today. And by the way, here's Pookie. That might have helped a little bit.
There's a Nino Brown in every town.
There's definitely a Nino Brown in every city. The pot thing is the biggest load of shit.
She basically redoes the Reefer for Madness. Like some kid beat his sister to death.
Yeah, because he couldn't get his fix.
I'm like, Jesus Christ, it's fucking pot.
Yeah, they turned it into the fucking Blue Boy episode.
More than 30 years, almost 40 years later, it's about to be legal in this country.
Yeah, way to go, Nancy.
Like you've been duped too. Sorry that you're dead.
I've spent many hours with children who've gotten involved with drugs. They start at your age, even younger. And they're all tragic stories of kids with great potential whose lives were ruined. Yes.
Well, aren't some drugs okay? Like, I've heard pot won't hurt you.
Let me tell you a true story about a boy we'll call Charlie. He was only 14, and he was burned out on marijuana. He was in a stupor of permanent days. And one day, when his little sister wouldn't steal some money for him to go and buy some more drugs, he brutally beat her. The real truth is, there's no such thing as soft drugs or hard drugs. All drugs are dumb. And if you're involved in them, please talk to your parents, your teacher, whoever. But don't end up another Charlie.
Nancy's a nice lady.
Died,
I don't want to. She had a good.
Not knowing the truth.
Well, Nancy, her heart was in the right place.
It's a joke, though. This whole pot thing's a joke. It was like propaganda to get, because these people, the cotton industry didn't want hemp, and here's my tinfoil hat response. The cotton industry didn't want to have to deal with hemp, which was a much better. They could do even more stuff than cotton.
Yeah.
And which is now finally going to be legal. Hemp just became legal at the Farm Bill. And they basically compared it to like cocaine and heroin. It's still in the same schedule as heroin. Like this is the way the drugs are scheduled. Are you kidding me? That's insane. People in the future are gonna laugh like, I can't believe that. Like how we laugh like the Middle Ages where they use leeches on people.
Yeah, it's gonna be
the same thing with.
It's gonna be looked at as like people that think the world is flat.
There's a part in one of I think it's the Star Trek Whales movie where like they go back in time. So Bones is in a hospital. Yeah,
and he can't believe that somebody has.
He gives someone with diabetes or something.
It's dysentery or something like that.
Something like that. She says something. He just gives her like a pill and it'll cure her.
Yeah.
It's like, what is it? It's like medieval times.
Yeah. It was something like that.
I think she had diabetes. It was like cured.
I kind of remember what it is. Because that's actually my favorite Star Trek. I used to watch that one a lot. But this is an interesting season of Diff'rent Strokes. They tackle a lot of important issues. They became that show, I think, like where they were going to take it upon themselves to.
They did, and they made
some good ones.
For whatever reason, back then you could make just puns and bad jokes, and it worked because there was only there was only 3 or 4 channels. So what else are you going to watch?
Yeah.
People watched it; they were like forced to. So I mean, it's the way it is, man. People are fucking dumb, and people are doing the Bird Box challenge now, like assholes.
Oh.
Have you seen this fucking stupid movie?
The Bird Box?
Yeah.
I saw it.
It's
okay.
It's nah.
No.
Like people love people are dumb.
It reminded me of The Happening a lot.
That's exactly what I thought. I haven't even seen it. It's like the Happening. They're remaking The Happening, basically.
They did some decent things with it. I didn't like the resolve of the movie. I thought it could have been better. I thought they didn't do anything. They didn't progress it in a way that was different and interesting from anything else. It ended the way I thought it was going to end.
I don't know why this movie took off though. It's just
it's just something to watch, man.
Yeah.
Why did The Sopranos take off?
It's on, and you just watch it. That's what some things are.
Jersey Shore, it was just a thing you watched, like, I mean, I used to watch Dawson's Creek, I don't watch that anymore.
You got to fill a void.
Yeah.
And sometimes that fills the void.
Remember that, like, fucking the stupid...
Like, at that point, 90210 was old. The kids weren't in high school anymore. So it's going to a new high school show. Fills the void.
Yeah.
It's not the same show when they're in college or older.
Yeah, no. And then it's like the Peach Pit after dark.
Exactly. And, So what was Dawson's Creek? 97, 98? Or was it 95?
I would say 97. 97.
Yeah, so now they're in high school again. And you get that dynamic's better than like... High school dynamic's better than when they get older. When they get older, it's like almost... it's not as fun.
Yeah, because you can
for
get...
a lot of people. Not that the show can be bad, but it doesn't always... You don't get the same result.
Well, because you can take kid scenarios and you can take adult scenarios. And when you're doing the older version shows, you only get adult scenarios.
And this happens in every teenage high school show, like even like Saved by the Bell or 90210. No matter what they look like, they're freshmen. They don't really mention that they're freshmen because they want to get the 4 years of high school, but they're like the coolest kids still. In the whole school. Like, it's almost like they're running the school still even when they're freshmen. Oh, it always popped out to me.
Yeah.
Like, Zach's the coolest kid in school.
All the time.
Every year.
Every year. Nobody's cooler than him.
He's supposed to be a freshman, though.
Yeah.
Freshmen get, they get the shit.
Yeah.
They don't get, they're not cool.
Well, he has a cell phone.
He did. He could stop time. He had special powers.
He could do whatever he wanted. And he was good friends
he
with...
for not raping girls. Good for him.
Yeah.
Zach Morris is trash.
You know what? We should just continue doing like some of these like anti-drug episodes.
They're the best. Like they're dumb.
Like
they're fucking dumb.
The joint episode from Saved by the Bell.
That's a good one. Or she does the caffeine pills.
I'm so excited.
Which I think was originally written as heroin or something because she acts like it's heroin.
Oh, either way, she
goes fucking nutso.
A little too excited.
Jesse Spano. That's a good one. I like when they go to the fucking After Dark and the one fat chick wants to fuck Screech when they get in there.
You know what I was just thinking for some reason?
Donnie, I love you. His name's Donnie.
Yeah. you know what I don't know why I'm thinking about this now, but when I was just thinking about the Diff'rent Strokes episode and how Arnold ended up in the paper for reporting the drugs. And since the Bicycle Man episode is a few episodes before this, wouldn't he also be in the paper?
He could write that story. He could have been in the paper.
Yeah. Hey, let me tell you about what happened to me last month.
Son almost gets raped by fucking Cincinnati radio director.
Let me tell you what happened to me on the second week of January. Cincinnati. Mr. Horton, the bike shop. No, but you know what I mean? It'd be like Arnold Jackson.
These are big news stories.
Yeah.
All about him.
Was almost molested and found drugs on a school campus. All within the same year.
2 months later.
What a hell of a 1983 he's having.
Oh my God. 1983 sounds like a terrible year for everybody.
It sounds like a terrible year for fashion.
Yeah. Members only jackets are big.
Yeah. This is also the season where you get 2 episodes of Andrew Dice Clay magic. Yeah, he plays a Vinnie Barbarino type character.
Yeah.
Guy's like 25 playing a fucking 10th grader.
Is he that old?
He's born in 1957, so he's 26 years old in 1983.
Okay.
According to my Ranger math.
Yeah, he's not 30, but he's still pretty old.
Yeah, and he's like, "Oh, Willis, give me your wallet, like quick."
Fucking Dice Man.
Hey. Oh, Dice Man, why did you take money out of my locker? His name's Larry, though.
Yes.
Yeah, he's Crazy Larry.
I had a dispute at work with this episode a while back. Someone thought that Dice Man was the Gooch.
He's not the Gooch?
He's not the Gooch. I had to explain that he wasn't the Gooch.
No, the Gooch is the bane of Arnold's existence.
Gooch is never revealed, but and I'm no expert because I can't remember, but I could swear she's a girl for some reason. But she was never. This person was never revealed.
Yeah.
Somewhere, I think he's like talks to the Gooch's brother.
Yeah.
Or something, and he says her. So that's how you know. I think something like that happened.
The Gooch is
It's been so long.
talk of legend.
Yes.
Way back.
These are memories.
The old
memories of memories.
Washington Irving days when people would go to town to tarry. They would tell the tales of the Gooch. So what do you think? Will there ever be another... Can we find another very special episode of Diff'rent Strokes?
Oh, man.
There's got to be
I
something.
have done them all.
There's got to be a couple more.
There's interesting episodes to talk about still.
I mean, maybe we should take a break and like look into some other shows.
You got all these seasons, but yeah, we can go with some other shows. There's some other.
Well, I want to.
Punky Brewster's an interesting.
Yeah, I want to explore the Punky Brewster episode. Maybe get into a little bit of Mr. Belvedere. Let's take a look at how Mr. Belvedere decided to rape children.
The inside of this DVD smells like old toys from the 80s.
I'll be sure to talk to Shout Factory about that.
High on it. It's a nostalgic high smelling the inside.
Oh my God, you're snorting Transformers.
That's my new drug, is nostalgia.
That's your drug?
New drug.
Yeah.
One that won't make me sick.
You are on quite the nostalgia high. I walked in today and you were watching the Snorks.
You lie. I was not watching the Snorks.
Playing with your wuzzle.
I was watching Muppet Babies.
Oh, God. Looking up that lady's skirt. Well, until next time, if you've ever bought drugs in the schoolyard, we're ready to believe you.
Just say no.
I'm so proud of all of you. And I know you won't forget any of the things that we said here today.
Infirmary Media. This is no ordinary sub shop. This is Firehouse Subs.
Welcome to Firehouse.
Tired of overpriced lunches that underdeliver on flavor? Head to Firehouse Subs, where for a limited time you can get a $4.99 choice sub. Choose from a medium smoked turkey, Virginia honey ham, or roast beef. They're custom-made hot subs at a price ready-made to make you smile. Just $4.99, only at Firehouse Subs. Enjoy more subs, save more lives. Participating locations plus tax, limited time offer. Prices may vary for delivery.